Clyde Barrow, the most ruthless killer the Southwest has ever known, was granted a parole from the Texas State Penitentiary by Governor Ross Sterling on February 2nd, 1932. He had been placed there after a series of comparatively minor crimes, including chicken stealing and petty thievery in his early boyhood, and culminating in burglary and automobile stealing. After his release, he began seriously his short career of violent crime, stealing automobiles, robbing banks, killing without mercy. Like a snowball rolling downhill, Barrow's crime record began to grow. After he walked out of the penitentiary on parole, one of the first things he did was to team up with Raymond Hamilton, another West Dallas bad boy. Together they went to Hillsboro, Texas, and about midnight on April 30th, 1932, they knocked on the door of a small store owned by J.N. Bucher.
What do you want? Oh, I guess you get dark, right? Come on in.
Clyde Barrow murdered J.N. Bucher, a defenseless man, shot him in the back, and then continued to pour hot lead into his body as it lay on the floor. This was Clyde's first murder, and after this first taste of blood, 12 men went down to their death from Clyde Barrow's guns. W.D. Jones, who was held captive by Barrow for many months and who participated with him in robbery and murder, is now a prisoner in the Dallas County Jail. From W.D. Jones, we get first-hand information on Clyde Barrow, the killer.
I have been indicted along with Clyde and Bonnie for the murder of Malcolm Davis, Fort Worth deputy sheriff. I was forced along under threats of death with Clyde Barrow through many of his gun battles and saw him kill 5 men. Clyde Barrow never seemed to care for killing anyone. All he thought of was himself. That's the reason I tried to escape. Just soon kill me as anyone.
After Clyde had become a full-fledged killer and gone in for big-time crime, he met Bonnie Parker, waitress and wife of a convict. What attracted this strange pair to each other will never be known. After a series of murders and bank jobs, Bonnie and Clyde were boldly keeping a rendezvous with some of their henchmen near Grapevine, Texas. While they waited, they drank whiskey, made love to each other, and practiced their marksmanship by shooting at birds. Presently, 2 state highway patrol officers sighted the pair. They decide to investigate. They approach Bonnie and Clyde totally unaware of their identity. This atrocious murder sealed the doom of Bonnie and Clyde, for every peace officer in the entire Southwest became so enraged over this killing, they pledged themselves to sleepless days and nights in their search for this murdering pair. This untiring search finally brought the officers who were detailed to concentrate all of their efforts day and night to the apprehension of Bonnie and Clyde to a spot on a gravel road in the state of Louisiana. For 3 days and nights, these officers lay in wait on this road, but Bonnie and Clyde were wary. There is a sort of a tradition among peace officers of Texas that Barrow was possessed of some sixth sense, like a wild beast, which foretold of danger. But on this morning, this sixth sense did not serve to warn him of their presence.
That looks like the car, fellas. That's him for sure, I'll guarantee you. Get ready now. That's him, fellas. If he reaches for it, let him have it. Look out!
Death is at the steering wheel. The inevitable end. Retribution. Here is Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, who died as they lived, by the gun. Bonnie is seen leaning against Clyde. Clyde was a master gunman. Seldom did anyone ever live when Clyde got the first shot. Clyde Barrow's mania, his guns, spiked at last by the law. 2 sawed-off shotguns, 2 machine rifles, 10 automatic pistols, and 1,500 rounds of Barrow and Parker death car. Every one of these holes was made by the steel-jacketed bullets from the high-powered rifles in the hands of the officers. Many of these bullets passed entirely through the door on Clyde's side, through Clyde's body, struck Bonnie, passed through her body, then out through the door on her side of the car. The officers were on the left side of the road, nearest the driver. This explains the fact that Bonnie's body had more bullet holes than Clyde's. Any one of these bullets would have been fatal to both. But after having killed 14 people, most of whom were officers of the law, and having come safely through so many gun battles, it did not seem advisable to fire just one bullet. Some of the personal effects of Clyde and Bonnie. Vanity, thy name is woman. Bonnie's case contains many of the feminine aids to beauty. Really a pretty girl, Bonnie was found at the time of her death to have had a new permanent wave. Her fingernails were clean and prettily manicured, as were Clyde's, which was probably due to Bonnie's influence. This would indicate that aside from her association with Clyde during their murderous moments, she was a perfectly normal girl in many respects. Clyde's guns were his vanity. At night he would clean, oil, and polish them, and for each one he had a pet name. Barrow was a tourist who changed his home state at will. These license plates, found under the rear seat of the car, made him in turn a tourist from Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. This is a big day in the life of this sleepy little town of Arcadia, Louisiana. The crowd in front of the small furniture and undertaking company, where Clyde and Bonnie's bodies lay, milled and grew to great proportions with each succeeding hour.